my name is Alyssa Zander, your favorite codependency and relationship coach. For those of you who are meeting me for the first time, I am so glad that you are here. Let me go ahead and give you some background information on how I even ended up here talking about codependency and relationships. So let me paint the picture for you. I'm alone in my room, it's dark, blinds are drawn, it's 4 in the morning, and I am watching tarot videos on YouTube, just totally immersed in what I now know to be as a trauma bond. It was during this time when I really uncovered my core wounds, when I really began to understand my own dysfunctionality in relationships and how I was showing up. I had this moment of realization that I was the common denominator. All my relationships had seemed to go the same way. I would be in a loving partnership only to leave it for someone who had given me attention. And it was in this moment, the inconsistencies from this person who I was seeing, where I was really being invited to look at the ways that I was continuing to perpetuate these cycles. I wasn't an early 20-something anymore. I was in my 30s and I wanted to start a family more than anything. And so if I wanted to step into a loving reciprocal relationship with another person, I really needed to look at why I was leaving relationships for someone coming in and giving me attention. I was like a frantic child trying to grab pieces of candy that just fell from the piñata, but the candy represented my worthiness. The candy represented my belonging. The candy represented my good feelings about myself. And the piñata represented the person who I was giving my power away to. So every time I thought I had grasped the candy, it would disappear in front of my eyes and end up back inside of the piñata, or back inside the person's hands who I gave my power away to, who I was making responsible for my good feelings about myself, my worthiness, my belonging. I got so addicted to the inconsistencies, not knowing if me and this person were good, if we were bad, if we were together, if we were not together, not knowing if they were going to call or text back. I was holding on to the first moments with this person. I was holding on to the dream that I had attached to this person. And it was in the months of no contact, yes, months, that I began to lose my sanity. And this is why I do this work. I felt so alone in all of this. I felt like I was the only one who was experiencing what I deemed to be crazy, the consistent, repetitive, obsessive thoughts, going and scrolling through our messages, just hyper analyzing every single word that was said. I know a lot more now. A lot more now. And what I've learned is that I'm not alone in this. That so many of us experience this wounding, this pattern, this cycle, this broken freaking merry-go-round. And that so many of us know that the merry-go-round will break and we get on anyways. And so I spent the months of no contact being very intentional about looking where these patterns and cycles began. And it all stemmed back to my childhood. The sexual abuse and trauma that I was experiencing in my home as a child, the lack of personal responsibility from my parents. I developed core wounds around abandonment, rejection, and betrayal. So, like I said, in the months of no contact, I began to explore these parts of me. The parts of me that feared being abandoned, the parts of me that feared rejection, the parts of me that feared betrayal. And it was in a moment where I realized that even though I had experienced those wounds as a child, it was me as an adult that was playing them out in my relationships, that was playing them out in my life. I was abandoning myself. I was rejecting myself. I was betraying myself. And I was doing this through giving my power away to others. I was placing my worth, my belonging, my deservingness on someone or something outside of myself. I was letting something or someone dictate how I felt about myself. Whether it was this relationship shows or proves that I am loved. This career shows or proves that I am successful. Instead of just already knowing that I am. It was when I began to tend to these core wounds, this unfolding that I had had, that my whole life began to change. Not only my relationships with others, but more importantly, my relationship with myself. I was no longer enmeshed with this person who was obviously not my person. I stepped into this work because I learned that my soul mission is to be here and heal the mother wound. Healing the mother wound is healing from codependency. It is to heal from overgiving. It is to heal from self-sacrificing. Healing the mother wound is reconciling with the mother within us, tending to the child within us that didn't get the love, the protection, or the safety that it deserved. For me, healing the mother wound is coming into community and being seen, being heard, being witnessed. For all the mothers that came before us, that were silenced, that were living in fear, I want to cultivate a space for us to be seen in our stories, to remove the isolation and the judgment of one another and see just how much we are one. Our pain, our stories, our wounds, because we are not alone in our pain, and we do not need to be defined by it either. If you do know me, then you know that I have been immersed in the coaching industry for a short time, and this was such a gift in my life to walk alongside women one-on-one in group containers as well, supporting them in healing the mother wound, supporting them in uncovering codependency in their relationships and in their lives. It has been one of the greatest gifts to watch these women who I've had the honor of walking alongside reclaim their story, reclaim their power, watching them transform their lives through taking radical personal responsibility for their own patterns and their own ways that they were showing up in their relationships. To see these women transform their lives through healing the mother wound within them is nothing short of miraculous. I have watched women move from resentment and martyr to confident and clear and still very, very compassionate people who ask for what they need, who ask for what they desire, and still holding that frequency of love and compassion. I have watched women step into loving and reciprocal relationships with others and watched their joy unfold. So I went from anxious attachment to secure attachment, only to experience anxious attachment when I'm dysregulated. Because here's the truth, I'm a human and I live in a world where I will be activated, I will get triggered by something or someone potentially. And so I really want to cultivate a space where we normalize the ebbs and flows of this healing journey. That we don't see, oh, I got to secure, but now I'm having a moment of anxious and seeing it as a detriment to our healing journey. I have, over the years, cultivated some tools to support me in holding myself through the ebb of anxious attachment when it comes up. And I want to share the tools that I use and that I've shared with women that I've worked with over the years, so that you can begin to have these tools as ways to support you when inevitably that trigger or that activation arises for you. The way that we navigate the contraction, the pain, those moments of separation is so pivotal in our healing journey. And I don't want money to be the gatekeeper of this healing that is your birthright. After hundreds of DMs and people asking for help and asking for support and are unable to invest in a one-on-one healing space, I was catapulted even deeper into my truth. It's about change. It's about transformation. It's about healing the mother wound. And I don't know how this is going to work out. How me moving from the one-on-one spaces that have provided me with financial security and kept the roof over my head, I don't know how walking away from that and stepping into creating free content is going to support me earning a living. But I trust that it will all work out, because it has been so clearly shown to me that my work here is to reach the masses. My work here is to be in service. And this, creating the podcast, creating the YouTube channel, this and offering you free content so that you can access the healing that you're feeling drawn to, lights me up. It lights me up. And I know that if it lights me up, then it's gonna work out. There's a level of trust I get to lean into for myself, a level of trust I get to lean into for you, a level of trust I get to lean into of the great unknown. I want this work to heal and reach the masses. And I want you, the one who is seeking this healing, to pay nothing for it. So this YouTube channel and this podcast is my declaration to my mission, to be of service and to reach the masses with the healing, the support, and the community that is your birthright. To support me in getting this healing to as many people who are desiring it or needing it, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can download the podcast episodes. You can like, share, and comment so that this can get in the eyes of more people. We can make huge ripples together. And I know none of this is possible without you. So thank you all for being on this journey with me. So here is to healing the mother wound. Here is to healing codependency. Here is to healing our relationship with ourselves so that we can experience more loving, reciprocal relationships with others. You can absolutely do this healing alone, but the point is you don't have to. I love you so much.